But unlike Doctor Who, with me, this is due to heart failure. Poem! Since I don't like to call it defibrillation, I call it regeneration. Since I don't like to say I'm cold-hearted, I call it binary cardiovascular refrigeration. Since I don't like to say I wiped their memories and abandoned them, I say I have fond memories of all my companions. Since I'm too indecisive to click not attending, I click maybe, and since I'm too shy to say I like you, I ask, would you like a jelly baby? They're not even real jelly babies, they're Haribo. See, I told you, I'm a crap Time Lord. So yes, just before I go any further, how many of you in the audience do actually like Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful, a good few of you, so there's not much chance then that every time I make a Doctor Who reference, silence will fall. But still, if that does happen with some of you, we'll just have to agree to let Zygons be Zygons. And happiness will prevail. Reasons my sitcom was cancelled. Number 1, it failed the Bechdel test. Number 2, it apparently failed the Turing test. Number 3, too many obscure references. So, I'll return to heart failure. I think we're on more solid ground there, because to celebrate my 30th birthday, this will give you some idea of my sense of humour, I actually held my own funeral as a spoken word event, with me lying motionless in a coffin throughout, with women on either side holding aloft fatherless ginger children, hymns, tributes from friends, and a surprisingly convincing fake vicar. So just like Doctor Who, I unconvincingly faked my own death, in other words. But unlike Doctor Who, 1 week later, ironically, I found myself in hospital, desperately fighting for life, hooked up to more machines than Davros. I didn't die. Spoilers! But I did get a couple of shows out of it, so I can't really complain. And I learnt how to play Cardiac Buckaroo. Now, if I'm going to explain how to play Cardiac Buckaroo to all of you guys, then I'm going to have to explain what I mean when I say that I have 2 hearts. What I mean when I say I have 2 hearts is that I have 2 hearts. Madam, if you would just like to just feel underneath my skin there, can you confirm that there is definitely an alien body there?
Yes.
Yes. So that's just an excuse to get felt up by a member of the audience, start the show off with a bang. Yes, that's basically my implantable cardioverter defibrillator. It's a battery and a heart monitor underneath the skin, just underneath my collarbone there, with a wire stretching across through my vein down into my heart. For all of you vein spotters in the audience, it's the inferior vena cava, which is Latin for shit sparkling wine, which may have caused some of the initial problems in the first place. Now they put that in to stop my heart from stopping when it's basically, it was normally irregularly irregular, but it became as irregular as it possibly could just after my 30th birthday, when it stopped for 4 excruciating seconds, and I learned just how painful it is to die. So now it stops my heart from stopping. But sometimes my 2 hearts have differences of opinion. You see, if my heart is going too slowly, if it hasn't beaten, this is my first heart by the way, not the second one, if it hasn't beaten for 1 second, then my ICD will give it a tiny little shock which makes it thump. Now sometimes I can tell that this is an artificial heartbeat, that this is a semicolon rather than a comma in this continuous life sentence. I did warn you that I'm a poet, didn't I? But it doesn't hurt. However, if my heart goes too irregularly too quickly, then my ICD detects this and thinks that I am in VT, ventricular tachycardia. You guys know what VT is? Basically, if you watch Casualty, whenever Charlie Fairhead goes, he's in VT, and all of the trainee doctors lose their shit. VT is the irregular meter of a lame but enthusiastic racehorse in calipers, which usually ends in the full stop, Beecher's Brook, of a heart attack. Of course, I'm not really in VT, it's just that, well, this wire doesn't actually go all the way down to the bottom of my heart. They only fitted me with a short wire in order to save the NHS money. Again, crap Time Lord. So, this ICD thinks that my heart is going into VT. There's a lot of acronyms in this bit. There won't be a test, don't worry. And so it decides to try and correct it using ATP, anti-tachycardia pacing, which is basically 6 quick colon heartbeats. But because my heart isn't in VT, that doesn't work, so it sends a shock across to my heart, which makes me bang! Ooh. My arms are thrown out to the side by the force of the heart electrocution. Just like the pose of the Doctor regenerating. I unleash a Mignon's cock, Felchwaffle barrage of sodding bad language, just like Peter Capaldi in the thick of it. So given these 3 things, why they chose to offer him the role of the new Doctor Who rather than me, I have no idea. But what this means is that as long as this stays attached, well, that means that I'm basically safe from death, but not free from the fear of getting electrocuted in the heart. Now, how fast does it have to be going before this is likely to happen? Well, they set the limit at 180 beats per minute when I was in hospital, which isn't actually that. Oh dear me, you're feeling a bit faint. So it is a bit hot. I'm very glad that someone opened the fire escape, by the way, because that now means that my hair can safely exit the building. Yes, 180 beats per minute, which is not actually that fast for a heartbeat. But then at that time I was so ill that I could barely walk, so it wasn't a problem until they got my prescriptions right. Poem. I have all the time in the world. It measured out in beats per bot, crazy regular, that the small grey box beneath my skin slipped in by an old Chinese doctor, deaf, thin fingers. Cannot correct, just monitor. And only if it goes too slow or fast, step in with a kick. Or back when I could just, at any time, stop. Like one of Auden's funereal clocks, this fail safety net meant much to me. 9 years personal duration, guaranteed by a Duracell bunny, small grey battery, a tiny curator, a hand of alpha, a spare part, better part, my meta heart, a doctor inside. But as my legs could walk again, my heart tried too hard to catch up with them. Went out, got drunk, began to forget in a dance-off for a girl with my best friend, then bang! With your arms thrown out, bang! Like a tyre blown out, bang! And your legs go down, and your confidence and your common sense. So you wander round like the Walking Dead through a low-down funk and a swamp of phlegm, lest your pulse hits 180 BPM. You're tired, you're weak, you're scared, you're bored. Congratulations, you're a crap time lord. This electric fence inside of you exiles pride till compromise comprises you, nursing halves because you can't get them in, shuffling slowly to stave off adrenaline, limbs lose tone, grow slowly stalkier, shedding beefcake while your guts turn porkier. So you do a few sit-ups, then press-ups, do too many, and know you've messed up when bang! A loud sign-up shout, bang! As your legs give out, bang! And your hope fades out, and your confidence and your common sense for at least a month. That's you now done. Each time feels like a soul eviction. You're tired, you're weak, you're scared, ignored. Congratulations, crap time lord. Now beta blockers keep you in slow motion, but each stress blocked is a blocked emotion. In 1 year I've aged a millennium, gaze as unfeeling as a Cyberman. My armour plates a knackered pericardium. It's a sort of enforced smackhead Buddhism. And I didn't even feel that unwell one hot day, trudging up Primrose Hill, till shit, I knew what was going to unfold with that palpably fast in chest drum roll to bang! And your arms are gone, bang! And your legs are gone, bang! All enthusiasm in the opposite of orgasm. Can't drink, can't drive, can't jog, can't cry, lest this robot shell might rust. You're tired, you're weak, you're bust, you're flawed. Congratulations, crap time lord. Can't die, but can't live. Yes, don't worry, it gets a bit more jolly. Well, they were basically, that was because I was feeling better. So I started drinking stupidly, started dancing very stupidly, and bang! The first time that it happened, I was convinced that I'd actually been electrocuted by the wiring in the dodgy club that I was dancing in, and now this was the Planet nightclub in Wolverhampton, so this was entirely feasible. I felt absolutely fine beforehand, absolutely fine afterwards, but the doctor's instructions had been clear. Get the ICD checked out the first time that this happened immediately. So as I left the club, the doorman commented to me, "You know, mate, we get a lot of people leaving this club in an ambulance. But you am by far the most composed one I've ever seen." It's okay, I'm from Wolverhampton, I can do the accent, it's not racist. Yes, the second time, that was me just doing too many press-ups on a hot day. Bang! They turned my ICD's limit up to 200 beats per minute. And the third time, that was me trudging uphill, a little bit hungover, so I'd forgotten to take my meds. And thus I learned that if you add heat, exercise, lack of medication, alcohol, then BANG! That's how you play cardiac buckaroo. After that, they turned my ICD's limit up to 250 beats per minute, which I think means that I can dance to dubstep and old school hardcore, but not breakcore gabba. Accurate impression there. It also means that as long as this battery stays charged and this wire stays connected, basically my heart can't stop, which means that should there ever come a time, hopefully in the far future when it would probably be for the best that it did, I'm going to have to make the conscious decision to turn this thing off. That's right, I can't actually really die except by committing suicide. But I realise that probably isn't a massive laugh to end this little section on. So instead I'll say that in the meantime, I am immortal! I've got 4 minutes. Last time I went to the hospital, they said that I got another 6 years on this battery, so I demand a second opinion. Basically, there's a second way, though, that my heart's failure has made it a bit more crap time lordy, and that's because, it's made it hard. No, that's completely the wrong word. Yeah. It's made it difficult. No, it's more challenging for me to engage in that most intimate form of exercise, that which the great Roman poet Catullus called bed wrestling, and that which the great Yorkshire poet and philosopher Roy Chubby Brown called pink conkers. Sex, basically. You see, the more of these drugs, ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, and especially eplerenone, the very drug that meant that I could walk again, the more they build up in your body, the more difficult they make it for you to feel angry, anxious, or to enjoy an angry hug. So, this state of affairs could not continue, so I went to see my heart failure nurse and told her, look, I've not been defibrillated now for about a year, I'm feeling okay, is there any chance that I could cut down on my medications? And she said, yes, I could cut down on my medications, and yes, my libido would increase in inverse proportion to my life expectancy. Basically, I was being offered the choice of sex or death. Now wait a minute, that's wrong, isn't it? Because that would be an easy choice. Sex, please! I was being offered the rather more Swiftian choice of a long life, but with no sex in it, just like Doctor Who. or a short life, but with sex in it, just like, I don't know, imagine Wayne Rooney's a mayfly. So I'm just interested to know who here would choose, quick straw poll, put your hands up if you would choose the long life but with no sex in it, like Doctor Who. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's probably about a quarter of you. How many short life No, with lots of sex? Right, okay, this is more my kind of crowd. If any of you failed to make a decision, then you die a virgin tomorrow, sorry. Second choice, how many of you, right, this one's a bit more tricky, would rather be twisted with racial hatred on the inside, but no one ever suspects a thing? Or how many of you would not be racist on the inside, get on well with everybody, but absolutely everything you say or do always comes out as inadvertently racist? Right. Who would go for the first one? Racist on the inside but not the outside. Don't worry, nobody comes out looking good out of this room. Right. In a way, you're sacrificing yourself so as not to give offence to other people, so I respect that. And then not racist on the inside but racist on the outside. Who would do that?
Me already.
Okay, right. It started already because some of you are giving me Hitler salute. If you fail to make a decision on either count, then you are both racist on the inside and the outside, and you have to live with it forever. Basically, you're Prince Philip. Okay, but I was offered, and this is going to take me 2 minutes, I think. I was offered a third choice, ladies and gentlemen. Can any of you guess what that third choice might have been? Yeah, I'll give you a clue.
Castration.
Castration. Right, if that's an offer, I'll not take you up on it. Basically,
Racist sex.
it was racist sex.
Racist sex.
Racist sex. I don't know, what would racist sex be? Would that be having sex really badly with someone of a race you don't like, or on purpose? I don't know. It would still not be racist though, because you'd still be having sex with someone of a different race. Anyway, I've lost my prop, but never mind, I'll do it anyway. I admit I'm on Viagra! It was extinct, but now there's magma! Worn out, but abracadabra! Once more I make girls gasp! Like asthma! I felt like I had Penagra, niacin deficiency, was trapped in a tale by Kafka, but now life's back more like Frank Capra, and Antony needs a Cleopatra, so if you like me and I like you, then do warn me, but with 1 hour's notice. Because if I drop one, then we don't screw, well, it'll just warm up my fingers and toe tips. But now I've got the space-time and the inclination. Come back to my TARDIS and join my Terry Nation. And help me get out of these ill-fitting jeans, because in space, no one can hear you scream. With pleasure, make sure you bring a tape measure, because though I now exude less pheromones, I can still give you better moans. And though my big heart gives resistance, I've got chemical assistance. Yes, if any of your partners feel less vital, just give them a pill, whose generic medical title is Sildenafil. Girl, you got me over a barrel like a trip down Niagara. My heart makes me feel Michael Winnerer, but these pills make me Mick Jaggerer. Don't worry if you're virginal, because I'm gloriously slaggier, shaven, or more hairy. You'll soon find that I am shaggier. You get out your sonic, I'll get out my sonic screwdriver. You get out your camera, I'll be the Paul Atreides to your Princess Padisha. Sorry, wrong universe. You're my Romana, I'm Randy, I'm the man, you're my Candy, I'm Lovejoy, I'm Magnum, I'm Taxon Shinawatra. When I'm on, I'm prime on, when I'm on, I climb on, when I'm on, I rhyme on, when I'm on, great time on, when I'm on. When I'm on Viagra. How was it for you? I'm sorry, this has never happened to me before. I've been Richard Tyrone Jones at Jibber Jabber, RTJ Poets on Twitter, and a whore in the bathroom. Thank you very much for having me.